This is FE Peer Review. The date is the 15th of October 2021. The Kansas Challenge for Woketown and any other flat earther who has the courage of their convictions. I'm addressing this video to Woketown, but don't take it personally, Woketown. I picked you just because you did a little video about Kansas, had a little map in it, and that gave me the idea. So yeah, it's for you, Woketown, but it's for anybody, especially flat earthers who wants to take up the challenge. It's an easy one. You just get yourself over to western Kansas and you take a look west, and you should be able to see the Rocky Mountains from there pretty easily. That's your challenge. Get over there, take some photographs, and show us the Rocky Mountains from western Kansas. Details to follow. Earlier today, Arctic Reflections put out a short video, 5-second flat earth debunking some nonsense by Woketown, which involved a map of Kansas. And I was reminded of a video I put out last April where I looked at the map of the United States and how earth curvature affected the layout of county boundaries, state boundaries, the alignment of roads, etc. And that reminded me of the fun stuff you can find on Google Earth. And so I was thinking Kansas. Kansas is over here on our right. There's the state of Kansas. And I was thinking, well, I wonder if from Kansas you can look west and see the Rocky Mountains. Here we are in a small town just east of the Colorado border. It's called Goodland. Here's a town called Kanorado, Kansas and Colorado. Anyway, from Goodland, I've traced a line to Mount Evans, which is the first major peak after the mountains start rising up out of the Midwestern plain. And Denver is right at the base of the mountains on that plain. So here we have a view from the center of Denver up to the peak of Mount Evans. It's a park right in the middle of Denver here. And the photograph we're going to look at in a moment is taken from this park in front of the Denver Natural Museum of Nature and Science, looking across the lake past the City Park Pavilion to Mount Evans beyond. And that is, come on, there it is. And that is Denver to Mount Evans. Properties, measurements. The length of that view line is 205,222 feet. And here is the beautiful view. Here's Mount Evans. So I dumped all that into a triangle calculator here. We have a B distance, a horizontal distance of 205,222 feet, and we have a difference in elevation between our location and the peak of 8,865 feet. I got that off of Google Earth. Let me bring up the path elevation profile. Denver's off to the right here. You can see the little red arrow moving around as I go again. Here's the elevation profile, up and up and up and up, and there's Mount Evans. So I took the elevations off the two ends of this profile and dumped it into our triangle calculator. And I got the angle alpha, which is from the horizontal to the top of the peak, is 2.473 degrees. There you go, right there. And I thought it'd be interesting to look next at the same type of view, but taken from that point in western Kansas. So I'll be back in just a moment with the results. Okay, we are good to go here with measurement number 2. And what we see on my screen here is Goodland, Kansas to the right, where I'm circling the mouse. And then a path that I've created over to Mount Evans, where I'm circling the mouse. Our original path was Mount Evans to Denver. Now we're looking at this longer one. And when we look at our path here, Kansas to Mount Evans, the length is 1,109,650 feet. And when we look at the change in elevation, we've got 14,129 at Mount Evans and 3,706 at Goodland. And I've summarized all of this in a little slide here. View from Goodland, Kansas, horizontal distance, 1 million, etc. Elevation change, I did the math already, 10,423 feet. I've got the Denver to Mount Evans information up above. So let's head on over to our triangle calculator. We've got for our base of our triangle 1,109,650. Double check that, make sure I got it right. Yep. And for the height 10,423, we hit calculate and we get an answer of our angle, our angular dimension for the mountain, for Mount Evans off in the west is 0.538 degrees. So that would be half a degree. So I'm going to put that in our notes here. Angle equals degrees. Looking good. What else is approximately a half a degree when you're looking at the horizon? I'll show you something that's about a half a degree when you're looking at the horizon. Here's a beautiful photograph of the Kansas prairie, your trademark railroad tracks disappearing to the horizon. And there's the moon up there, a beautiful full moon. And that moon is almost exactly a half a degree in angular dimension. Now we've all seen the moon on the horizon. It's up a little bit here in the photo, but I like this photo because it's a picture of Kansas. I was looking for a picture where they had the moon right on the horizon, but they all zoom in so much that you don't see anything else. You know, you see this huge moon, which is not what we see when we step outside. This photograph is zoomed in a little bit, but not much. So you look at this picture here and you figure, okay, now that moon, you put that moon back down there at the horizon. You know, it's early morning. On the night of a full moon, the full moon's just setting in the western sky as the sun is rising behind you. And that moon is a half a degree in diameter. And Mount Evans is a half a degree in angular dimension too. And they're both right on the horizon. That means that they're not one above the other. There's no perspective compression happening that's different between the two of them because there are slightly different locations relative to the horizon. They're right there on the horizon. We've all seen that moon as it just comes up over the edge. So there's no perspective reason why we shouldn't be able to see Mount Evans. Let's take a look at Google Earth here. Mount Evans to Kansas is 210 miles. Goodland, Kansas to Mount Evans is 210 miles. I'm pretty sure that the moon is farther away than 210 miles. I think we could pretty much all agree on that. So there isn't going to be some kind of like atmospheric haze issue that's going to allow us to be able to see the moon but not the mountain, since the moon's farther than the mountain. So if it's not perspective, and if it's not some sort of fuzzy atmospheric haze problem, then I can't think of any reason why on a flat Earth we wouldn't be able to see Mount Evans, the Colorado Rockies, from western Kansas. So here's my challenge, Woketown. The Kansas challenge. Woketown, do you dare? Get yourself over to western Kansas and find yourself a nice high vantage point, like the upper floor of a building, so you have no immediate obstructions like trees. Then look west. On a clear day, you should be able to see Mount Evans with the unaided eye, but feel free to use a telescope or camera with a telephoto lens. If you can take a photo of Mount Evans from your Kansas location, then you have provided massive evidence for the flat Earth. You should be in line at the very least for a Nobel Prize in Physics, which is over $1 million, in fact, over $1.1 million. In fact, you're probably in line to have people build temples in your honor. So, Woketown, what's keeping you? There it is, Kansas to Colorado. Now, if you don't do it, if you don't even try, if you and your friends don't even get together and try, and you probably know people and could get out that direction, you know, take a long weekend and go for a nice road trip and bring some photography equipment with you and take some pictures and have some fun. Take pictures of the Colorado Rockies from western Kansas. Now, if you don't do it, I kind of suspect it's because you're not really committed to the idea of a flat Earth. I mean, I don't suspect you don't even believe it's really true if you're not prepared to do something that's pretty much as easy as that in order to, prove it? I'm not supposed to use the word proof, but you know, provide some really big evidence. So do you dare? You going to do it? You're going to show us you're right? This is your chance. And I have addressed this to Woketown because he did that little thing with the Kansas map. But you know, this is for all of you. I don't care what your name is, who you are. It doesn't matter. It's not about who we are. It's not about people. It's about ideas. And there's the idea. The big idea. The Earth's flat. Great big idea. And if it's flat, why can't you see the Colorado Rockies from Kansas? Well, maybe you can. Go and show us. It's not perspective. There's no excuse. It's not compression. It's not some kind of atmospheric effect. If you can see the moon, you should be able to see Mount Evans. Show me. All right, I guess the video is finished, but I can't help going back in here. I want to take a look at that Kanorado place. So anybody that wants to join me, I'm going to go down in here and take a look, see where that good land was. There's Goodland. Kanorado, there it is. Right on the border, on the Kansas side of the border with Colorado. Welcome to the lovely town of Kanorado. Shall we take a look around? What do we find? Oh, well, gas station. That's a good idea. There's a bunch of silos. Got your train tracks going by there. Get your grain off to the big city. A boat. Boy, there must be water somewhere nearby, but I sure didn't see it on the map. Welcome to lovely Kanorado. Let's take a walk down the street here. Oh boy. And to think I never knew it existed. I've missed this all these years. Had no idea what I was missing. Kanorado Cash Store. Now I like that idea. I always like paying cash. Looks like it's closed up, unfortunately. Got a senior center and they're open. It's a start. They got their flag out front. Yeah, I think I'll have to give it a pass. I think I'd miss my croissants and café au lait. Now, if they had Mexican food, I'd be fine with that. That's the one thing I miss here in France, is really good Mexican food. Boy, they had some great Mexican food where I was born and raised. That was the food of my childhood. What else do I miss being here in France? Oh, good Chinese food too. There was San Francisco, which is where I was born. A lot of good Chinese food in San Francisco. You gotta know the restaurants because they're not all as clean as they should be. But the good ones are really good. Well, I guess we've seen enough of Kanorado. As the sun sets in the west, we bid Kanorado adieu.